Alright, hey, Hades Omega here, and so I've got my Amorge 84 volt battery here, and my bricked X-9000. Alright, guys. So here's the scoop: is what's been going on here. Alright, guys. So last week I blew up the controller. Alright, guys. It's kind of my fault. Alright, I had the settings set too high, and the battery cut out. Alright, and that caused the FETs inside to blow up, alright, or short out or something. Okay. So this controller has a condition where when you check the continuity between the positive and negative terminals, there is continuity, okay? And you don't want that. What happens when you put positive and negative together? Well, it short circuits, okay? It sparks really bad, all right? It could cause a fire, all right? So really bad. I'm fortunate that the battery was able to disconnect itself before causing any damage to it, all right? It seems like the battery seems okay. Bridger told me to make sure there's nothing wrong with the battery before you plug it in. Okay, but anyway, so here's the scoop. Here's what happened. All right, guys. So from start to finish, from the maiden voyage. All right. So I had the controller installed. I kind of tuned it. I set it up and everything. It seemed okay. All right. It seemed okay on the stand, and then I said, hey, well, I want to go take it out for a test ride before it starts raining. All right, because we had like a shit ton of storms last week. All right. And then, so what happened was I charged the battery overnight, all right? I charged the battery, and I said, like, you know what? Just throw it on the charger for like half an hour so, it does not a half charge or something when we ride it. I want to see what it's like, when it's got more voltage, all right? And then so that's when I found out, well, I forgot, okay? So what happened was I forgot to take it off the charger, and it fully charged the battery, all right? Because this charger is slow as shit, man, and try to watch it charge, man, like, this freaking charger, man. All right. Yeah, the Amorge chargers are kind of crap, man. It's not they're crappy. They're just really slow. Okay. But anyway, so the scoop is when I fully charged the battery, the controller threw a high voltage fault. Okay, I think it's E01, and I couldn't. The bike won't operate. Okay, it's just the voltage is too high. All right, so when this battery is fully charged, it's at 96 volts. All right, this controller can't handle anything, or this controller is designed not to handle anything over 93 volts. All right, just for like reliability and safety purposes. All right, that's what Bridger at EBMX told me. Okay, so the bike won't run. All right, so what I had to do was I had to discharge the battery enough so the bike will run. All right, and so that's what I did. I left the bike on for 2 days. All right, I left the bike on, and I checked the voltage, to every once in a while to make sure I don't over discharge it. All right, and then yeah, it after like 2 days it was like 92 something volts. All right, and then so I was able to finally ride it. Okay, so sweet. The voltage just is low enough where we can go ride it. All right, yeah, and so also I had asked on the EBMX forum, I called Grit Shift Up, and I think I talked to Trent, and he said to go on to the EBMX group on Facebook, all right, and then ask about my setup, and so here's the answer I got from Bridger, all right, from EBMX, all right. So he said that the EBMX X9000 version 2 is not compatible with our 23S battery, okay, or 84 volt nominal batteries, right? Because when they're fully charged, they're 96 volts, and this controller is not designed to handle that, okay? It's only designed to handle up to like 92.7 volts or something, is what he said, okay? So I'm pretty much shit out of luck with this battery, all right? The only way I can use this battery is if I discharge it down to like 93 volts, okay? So that's what I did, all right, and then I took it out for a ride, and I blew it up, all right. I have it on video, all right. But yeah, I rode it, and it was good, but it would cut out at higher speeds, all right. I would get on the throttle, and yeah, it would cut out. And so what was happening was we were discharging the battery too fast, and the BMS didn't like it and was shutting off, all right. So I did that. Well, I probably did that about. I was in mode 3. All right, I was in like 22 kilowatts, 800 phase amps. So I was trying to see what it could handle. All right, guys. And I'll tell you this, man, it was freaking fast, man, at 22 kilowatts. Holy moly! So if you could put a good enough battery on this thing, man, geez, it'll freaking fly, all right? But this battery could not handle it, and it would cut out, all right? And so I did that a handful of times, and the final time, the final time it happened, all right, I rolled onto it really slowly to try to get it to, you know, pull more power, and then I heard a loud pop, and then the bike just died, all right? And hopefully I didn't mess anything up, all right? I guess we'll find out when we get the controller back on there, all right? But yeah, the bike just died. I heard a loud pop, and I pushed the bike home because I wasn't far from home. I was just test riding it around the neighborhood. And then I checked the BMS. I log onto the BMS with my phone, and it says that the discharge port is closed for some reason, like it's shorted out, okay? And I was like, well, that's not good. I guess the wires are shorted out. That's not good. And then, so I disconnected it, and it worked normal again, all right? So that's got to tell me there's something shorted, all right, in the wiring, okay? And so it turns out it's the controller that shorted out, okay? Some MOSFET or something blew up in here, and then now the positive and negative terminals are now shorted, all right? There's continuity between the positive and negative terminal, all right? How did I find that out? I used the multimeter, all right, guys? I used the multimeter. I checked at the connector first, and then I got 0 ohms. All right, that means there's continuity. All right, that means the positive and negative are connected together. No bueno. All right, and I even checked the one on the light bead, and the light bead did not have continuity. So that's how I know it's supposed to be like that. All right, guys. And then so what I did is I eliminated the wire harness, and I checked directly from the terminal. Still the same thing. All right, so the controller is bad. All right. It seems like the battery's fine, all right. The battery went, you know, back to normal. Hopefully we didn't damage anything in the BMS when that happened. But yeah, so that's what happened. I had the settings turned up too high, and it was trying to draw too much current from the battery, and the battery shut off. From what Bridger and Rusty told me, Bridger from EBMX and Rusty from Grit Shift told me, it's very hard on the controller and the battery, all right, when that happens, all right? You don't want that to happen, man. It's happened a lot of times on with the other controllers I've had, man. So I don't know, man. But anyway, that's probably why they're not in very good shape anymore. But yeah, so that's a scoop, guys. But yeah, so that's the scoop, guys. The controller is I bricked the controller basically, okay? It won't turn on or anything, all right? It's all bad, all right? But everything else seems like it's okay. Hopefully the motor's fine. All right, I'm pretty sure the battery's fine. All right, I can log onto the BMS on it and everything, so it seems okay. Okay, I just checked the. I connected the drop battery meter to this thing. All right, with alligator clips, and it fired right up. So it seems like all the wiring and stuff going out from the 84 volts, it seems to be okay. All right, so and the battery meter, it fired right up. All right, so it didn't blow it up. So it's a good thing that BMS just cut all the power. All right, so you did a good job. What I say, all right. Okay, so after that, I got with Rusty from Grit Shift. I gave him a call and I told him what happened, and yeah, he told me the same thing, right? He told me like, yeah, it's your settings are probably not right, and it's very rough on the battery and the controller when you do that. Okay, and then Bridger told me the exact same thing. All right. One thing I have to say is that EBMX support webpage is like, it's kind of a pain in the butt, man. That's I don't know if it's working or not, you know, most of the time. But basically, yeah, if you guys are wondering, when you do the support thing from EBMX, you gotta email them, all right? You don't go to the website and post stuff. You just email with whoever is helping you, okay? And Bridger was the one that was helping me, okay? He's been a lot of help, all right? And then so what he told me, and then he asked me like, so how did you discharge the battery? And I was like, I left the bike on for 2 days. And he's like, oh, well, you're not supposed to do that. That's not good for the controller. So I guess if you run the controller at a higher voltage, which is another thing I still don't understand. It says the working voltage is up to like 100 volts for this controller, all right? So, but yeah, I mean, I guess you're just pushing the controller to its limits, type of thing, all right? And they don't want you to do that, all right? And so he's saying that could void the warranty, but this time they were gonna, you know, they were gonna help me this time. Okay, so don't do that again, but So another thing is I'm planning to go to 72-volt batteries. All right, guys. They're on order. They're coming. They're coming from China. They're coming from Amorge. Okay, I bought 3 Amorge 72-volt 40 amp hour batteries. So they'll get here eventually. All right, in like a month or something. So I just have to hold off until then. All right. So I don't think I'm really going to be riding this bike. I wanted to do some testing and stuff on the bike, but we'll just continue to do stuff other than the electrical stuff. All right. Most of the electrical stuff is done on the bike. Okay. Now we got to work on the mechanical stuff. All right. So yeah. So that's a scoop, guys. I blew up the controller, and then so what he told me is that don't charge the battery all the way. So I think from now on, what I'm going to do, if I do want to use this battery, is I'm going to charge it with the 72-volt charger. So when you charge 72 volts all the way up to 100%, it's 84 volts. Okay, 84 volts is 50% of this battery. All right, guys. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe I could throw it on the other charger for a little bit, but I have to make sure and it doesn't go up past 93 volts. Okay, and that's how I could ride this bike. Okay. I would put it in 22S. All right, it can't handle 23S. Okay, guys, I made a whole video about like why it can't handle it. So check that video out. All right, but anyway, I'll have to put it in 22S and just not charge it more than 93 volts. All right, if I want to use this battery. Okay, and so that's what we'll do for the meantime. It's kind of makes the bike kind of useless because I can't do any range testing. All I can do is just maybe just ride it around town a little bit to see how it feels. All right. And it's like it kind of, what's the point anyways? When I get my new batteries, we're going to have to retune the bike anyways, okay? But I will be getting with Rusty at Grit Shift, all right? He's going to help me tune the bike, all right? Unfortunately, I don't think they're working right now, so we'll have to do it next week, okay? Yeah, so that's the scoop. That's what's going on. So I gave my information to Bridger, and then they sent me a new controller, all right? It's back over there, okay? If you guys want to see it, I'll have another video about it. All right. They sent me another controller, and it didn't have a heatsink, so I got to transfer the heatsink from this one to the new one, okay? And then so that's a, and then we're back to I'm back to like putting the controller back in the bike, and hopefully nothing is wrong with it. All right. Well, hopefully we can get it back up and running again, and then I will give Rusty a call at Grit Shift, or I'll get with Bridger from EBMX, and then we'll set up the controller where it won't cut off like that. Okay, hopefully. All right, so I can actually at least ride it, get a feel for it, type of thing. All right. Honestly, you don't really need to pull a whole lot of current from the battery. All right, because you don't need to pull a whole lot of current from the battery, because it's a higher voltage. All right, if you got higher voltage, you don't need as much amps. Okay, and amps are what heat everything up. All right, so it's more efficient to have more voltage than it is current. Okay, current / amps. All right, current. The unit for current is amps, guys. Okay, you guys didn't know that. Okay, so that's a scoop. That's what's been going on up until now. I got the controller today. All right, so it took me a week from doing the warranty claim thing with Bridger till now. All right, and then they just sent me the controller, and I got it today, and I let them know, hey, I got it. I need to change the heatsink. So if you guys want to watch a video on Hades Omega change the heatsink on the EBMX X-9000, check that video out. All right, so that'll be a separate video. All right. I don't think they use any kind of heatsink compound. All right, Hades Omega has installed heatsinks on controllers before, and I use a thermal compound. All right, kind of like CPUs do. All right, but they don't use it. They use a thermal pad. All right. Okay, so now I got a bricked controller and another controller that works. All right, and this one will soon not have a heatsink on it. All right, it's still got the freaking protective tape on it and stuff. It's that fresh, guys. Okay. Okay, and then so yeah, that's what's gonna happen. All right, guys, I'm gonna swap the heat sinks, and then we'll go install it in the bike. We'll fire it up. Hopefully everything's okay with the motor. All right. So the only thing I really haven't verified that's not working is the motor. I do know that when the controller blew, that the motor kind of locked up a little bit. Okay, so I don't know. All right. So hopefully, no, hopefully the motor is fine. All right. I didn't mess up any of the windings in there or anything. Okay. So that's where I'm at with the WR250E Chronicles project. Okay. So we're getting there. All right, guys. Since I haven't been working on the electrical side of the bike, I started working on the mechanical side. I installed Canyon Dancer tie down so I can make this bike easier to tie down on the trailer. All right, and I also installed new drivetrain components. All right, it's got a new chain and new chain lower chain. They call it a drive chain tensioner. All right, but I just call it a chain roller. All right, the lower chain roller is a new upgraded primary drive unit, and then the upper one, I just stayed with the original one. Right, for whatever reason, the one that I bought from Rocky Mountain, it didn't work. All right, guys. So I don't know why. Okay, so I just used the original one. It would still I don't know if that's the original one for the bike, but I know that's the one that came with the bike, and it's still in good shape. Right, the bottom one was the one that needed to be changed. Okay. All right, so that's where we're at right now. All right, I just got a skid plate for the bike. All right, so I'll be having a video installing this guy. All right, it's a plastic skid plate. So it doesn't make a lot of noise on my quiet electric motorcycle. Okay, and then yeah, so we're getting there. All right, we're getting there. So that's the state of the WR250E project right now. We got to get the new controller, all right, the one that's not bricked, the one I got warranty replaced, in the bike and get it all tuned up, all right, and then we gotta start working on the suspension. Hades-Meg is planning to buy another set of wheels, all right, so we're gonna have a set of kind of dual sport tires, and we're gonna have a set of knobbies, okay. I know, I kind of wish we could do the Supermoto, but Hades-Meg wants to race this in the DTX class, okay? So that's the scoop, guys. I'm going to race through the dirt trackers with this bike, all right? So maybe Hades-Meg should have bought some dirt tracker wheels instead, some 19s. That's okay? But they don't make 19s for this bike, okay? All right, anyway, so that's where we're at with the bike right now, all right? So as of the WR250E Chronicles, all right? It's now just a little bit past the mid-February, all right? I think it's February 20-something, all right? And Virginia City is like less than 2 months away, guys, so we're getting there real fast, all right? So hopefully I can get those batteries soon and we can start racing with this bike, all right? So I would like to race it in a hare scramble or something, all right? Or at least take it trail riding before we race it at Virginia City, okay? I've got to know that it's rock solid, reliable, and we got to figure out what kind of range we're getting out of this thing, all right? So this bike will be rocking 72 volt, 40 amp hour batteries, okay? That should give us better range than this guy, all right? This is a 84 volt, 32 amp hour battery. Same kilowatt capacity, however, the voltages are lower. When the voltage is lower, you have higher battery capacity, you can go farther, all right? When the voltage is higher, but the battery capacity is lower, you can make more power, but you're not gonna go as far, okay? So I chose to go the distance, okay? I don't need this bike to be super fast, all right? I just need the bike to finish the race. All right? That's a scoop, guys. I just need enough to get through the trails and stuff, all right? Okay, so that's the update, all right? Thanks for watching. A's Big Out. Also, I want to mention thank you EBMX for getting me another controller. All right, they got it to me within a week time. And hopefully will get me back up and running again. So I am a repeat customer. Right, this is my second EBMX X-9000 controller. The other controller I haven't had so many problems with. Okay, I feel like I'm having a lot of problems with this because it's a custom bike build. Okay, guys, a lot of the settings in the X-9000 are for, like, you know, Light B, Ultra B, E-Ride or something, or Talaria. So this controller is not really supported for that bike. All right, it has settings for the motor. All right, but it's not for like a Hades-Meg is trying to do something different. All right, type of thing. It's not a freaking cookie cutter bike like a Sauron Light B or a Talaria Sting or something. Okay, this is a Hades-Meg's own creation. All right, but all it boils down to in the end, guys, is that it's just all an electric bike is a controller, a battery, and a motor. Okay, guys. So that's a scoop, guys. You can just put it in any frame or whatever you want, you know. But that's the basics of it right there. Okay, so shouldn't matter if it's like a Talaria or a Sauron or whatever. Okay, but yeah. So what Haze Omega is trying to do here is like it's kind of funky. Okay, that's what I want to say. But anyway, thanks EBMX for helping me out. All right. I've never blown up a controller before. Okay, guys. So I was kind of surprised when I did it. All right, but yeah, make sure you guys get a good battery, man. What's gonna say, all right? Or at least have the controller set properly. Okay, there's a lot of things you can do with this controller, even with the regular app. All right, they have like password protection stuff for a lot of the advanced features of the controller. All right, the advanced settings. Even with just the basic settings, guys, you could really mess up your bike. Okay, so don't just go doing willy-nilly whatever you want. All right, make sure you, if it's kind of a questionable what you're doing, make sure you get with EBMX or whoever you bought the controller from. All right, someone who knows how to work with these controllers, and you get their help. Okay, so that's what Haze Omega should have done. All right.